5 Trans-Masc Tips as a Trans-Masc School Edition. Hey everyone, I'm Astro. He's a 17-year-old who makes silly videos in their free time. Today's topic is Trans-Masc and passing at school. Now these tips are kind of general, as all schools are different and will have different rules, but I can try and answer other questions in the comments, and if you have any tips, LMK in the comments. #1. When to transition. Now obviously you can transition at any time, but if you know you will be switching schools soon, I would suggest waiting until then. This is because only the people who have gone to school with you before would know that you were previously a girl. If you're starting a new school entirely in a new area, then no one would know you were previously a girl and give you a better advantage. New people who don't know are less likely to ask questions and won't suspect anything. Now, obviously, let's say you're not starting a new school soon enough. How do you answer dumb questions? 1. Are you a boy or a girl? In this case, I would personally just tell them. If you worried about being made fun of, just give them a silly answer in return. X. I was actually made in a lab. Or just tell them it's none of their business, because it isn't. 2. Why did you change your name? You could say it's just a preferred nickname if your chosen name is somewhat close to your dead name. X. I grew up using the nickname Evan for short, but eventually switched it to Evander as I preferred that to my dead name. And then it became Andy, 'cause I don't even know anymore. But Astro, what if my chosen name is completely different from my dead name? What do I tell people? That's one thing I don't personally have experience with, but I would honestly just say it's a preference. You could also say that it's a nickname from a friend or something, just any excuse to get them off of your back. 3. What's in your pants? Genuinely, I don't know why people ask this, but I've gotten this one a few times. I normally respond with, again, your mom, or anything else that's stupid, because they always have funny reactions. Generally though, you can transition at any time as long as you'll be safe doing so. People do get harmed just for expressing their identity, so please, just make sure you'll be safe transitioning. #2. Uniforms and style. At my school, there are no uniforms, which makes it easy for me to dress in clothes I find comfortable. Back when I first transitioned, I used Pinterest as inspiration for having a more masculine style. If you aren't required to wear a specific uniform, I would recommend asking for more masculine clothes for Christmas, birthdays, and even using your own money to go shopping and buy clothes you want. I recommend starting with smaller changes at first, like cutting out skirts and dresses. A more drastic change would easily draw attention from others. For me, my style isn't the greatest, as I'm a sensory avoidant autistic who doesn't like certain textures. I look like those guys who look like they just rolled out of bed wearing pajama pants and Crocs every day. Anyways, I normally just wear whatever's comfortable for me, and I also sometimes wear, like those baggy cargo pants. I also really like to layer shirts and wear large hoodies. But of course, your style is up to you. I would just wear whatever you're comfortable in, whether or not it's what the average boy would wear. As long as you're comfortable and happy, that's all that matters. But Astro, what if my school has uniforms? In this case, I would try and see if you can switch to the male's uniform. Maybe let them know you're uncomfortable and see what they say can do. If they can't do anything, I would recommend trying to stylize your uniform as much as they'll allow to try and help you feel more masculine. If you've already come out to your parents and they are supportive, you could try and ask them to contact the school with the hopes of better results. #3. Hair. I personally believe that hair plays a big role into your appearance and appearing masculine. If you are able to, I would suggest getting a haircut. Even if your hair isn't super short, it can help to have it a bit shorter in the beginning. It can also be helpful if you are unsure about having short hair and don't want it to be fully short in case you don't like the way it looks. If you aren't able to cut your hair short for whatever reason, I recommend testing out different styles or putting your hair up to make it look a bit shorter. You can also dye your hair as well. This doesn't particularly have much to do with being masculine, but I feel like darker colors look more masculine. That's just me, though, and I personally plan on dyeing my hair soon. What if my parents don't know I'm trans yet? Like I said, you could try different hairstyles that will give the illusion of you having shorter hair without actually cutting it. What if I can't dye my hair? Now that's not a requirement, but more of just my opinion, as I love the way dyed hair looks. It's so fun and colorful. Number 4, physical appearance and body types. So let's say you can't own a binder for whatever reason. How do you appear more masculine? One thing I did when I first started transitioning was before I owned an actual binder, I would wear two sports bra on top of each other, which worked well for me. It was a relatively easy method and made me feel more comfortable in my body. If you do own or are able to own a real binder, one thing you need to know is don't wear it all the time. It will start to hurt and is not worth it no matter how well you think it's working. In the future, I may make another video on binding tips if I'm feeling motivated or if people are interested. Though if you are at the beginning of your transition, I would recommend the sports bra method at first, as it's not a permanent change and people won't suspect anything. As for the rest of your body, being a biological girl means you are likely to have curves, whether you like it or not. I would suggest baggier clothing as it puts less emphasis on those unwanted features you may have. Obviously, tighter clothes are going to hug your body and put emphasis on your curves if you have them, which is probably not what you want. Number 5, bathrooms and locker rooms. This is the last section of the video about bathrooms and locker rooms at school. This will probably be the least detailed section, as my experiences with these have been relatively good. My school has gender-neutral bathrooms and locker rooms that I normally use instead of boys or girls. This all depends on your school, really. If your school doesn't have a gender-neutral bathroom locker rooms, I would just go with whichever one you'd be more comfortable with. It can also help if you have a friend who might be there with you, so if people give you weird looks, you won't feel as bad. You're kind of bound to be made fun of either way, but you can always try talking to teachers about changing somewhere else if you are required to change for PE. I personally don't have much to say about this topic, as I'm lucky to go to a school that offers gender-neutral spaces. If anyone else in the comments has more to say about this topic, please comment it so others can have more information and tips than what I'm able to provide. Outro message. Hi, future Astro here. I wanted to apologize for all of the mistakes in this video. I don't have experience with all of these things, as I'm lucky to go to a school that was relatively accepting of me when I came out and started transitioning. This video was supposed to have 10 tips, but after editing I realized that there was way too much footage for the actual video I wanted to create, and I was not motivated enough to provide all of these tips in one video. If people are interested, I may create a part 2 with the other 5 tips I had in mind, and people can also include their tips in the comments. Your experience may not be identical to mine, and that is totally okay. Just know that you are valid and supported by me and so many others. If you ever need to talk, I'm normally available in my comment sections if you want to vent or just have a little chat. I'd be so happy to get to know all of you guys, and I love you so much. I hope you have an awesome 2025 and stay safe out there. Love, Astro.